All right, friend, I'm reporting live from Drew basement. Ralph is over there with his podcast equipment, cooking some steakums and shit. I don't know where Drew and her crinkle curly fried wig is at, but I'm back. I'm back and I'm better, exactly. So get you a little cocktail. Happy Monday. I'm gonna give y'all a full once over. I watched the Peacock version of Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reunion. So, and we're gonna talk about the alliances. Was freaking fact vindicated? What we really gonna talk about though is Marcus and Alex, the messy Bunchy Cat brothers, who spread all of the tea about Angela and Charles. So they did a podcast episode the other day, and they told us the real reason why Drew and Angela set Phaedra up. They was mad at Phaedra. Remember Phaedra locked Drew out? It's a lot. I didn't even think that Drew and Angela would have something against Phaedra, but they felt some type of way. We also gonna hear about what Kelly had to do with it, little Muppet babies, because little Miss Muppet baby was shady too in the whole ordeal. It was a lot going on. I'm talking about cease and desist. Angela, you gonna have to come to the front today. Angela, come to the front. We drugged Shamia last night, and now it's time for Angela. I'm sorry. Taurus, y'all having the worst week ever. The Taurus girlies are having the worst week ever. I'm sorry, the candy-coated boot camp then failed for all the Taurus girlies. The only Taurus winning is Candy. Did y'all see Candy at the Beyonce concert doing it up big? Kenya Moore was there. Monietta was there. Toya was there. All of the girlies. Shamia wasn't there. And Candy posted today, she said, don't ever think you trying to play me. Anything I ever did for you was because I got a good heart. I was like, who is that for, Candy? Candy, who was you talking about? And Candy, where was Shamia at? I don't know. Anyway, that was all I had. That's all I got to say about that. So we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta real quick. We also going to talk about Clarence real quick. We're going to talk about Clarence. We're going to talk about Rashida and Miss Nikki Baby, because Miss Nikki Baby did an interview with Jason Lee yesterday. I listened to the interview, and then Rashida, the side bitch, got on this internet and had something to say. I said, not on Beyonce's internet will a trifling side chick try to come at the main chick. I guess, y'all. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk. We're going to, because in case y'all didn't hear my first thoughts, I did a live yesterday. So we're going to start off with a little bit of gossip. I'll put the timestamps in the comments. So if you want to go jump straight to Real Housewives of Atlanta, look at the timestamps, friend. But we're going to start out talking about Claressa. Okay, so remember yesterday I told y'all that Clarissa and Remy was at the same boxing match. Clarissa was there to support one of her little boxing homeboys in Harmony, or whatever the case may be. Remy Ma and Fat Joe were there. The fighter named Berlanga, I think his name was Berlanga. The boxer named Berlanga wanted Fat Joe and Remy to walk him out. So Fat Joe and Remy walked him out to sing Lean Back, and my nigga don't. So they was chilling and vibing. In the video, you see Clarissa standing up, wanting to be seen on one side of the ring. Remy and Fat Joe on the other side of the ring. They, it's no contact. Nothing was said. That was all that was said. Clarissa in her cornrows, her dirty girl. She must get her hair braided by the same person who braided Jim Jones' hair. Because them braids don't ever look fresh. Anyway, the moral of the story is, Clarissa got online and said, I don't see why anybody would want to walk out to Lean Back or some shit like that. Girl, Remy ain't said nothing about you. Remy didn't even acknowledge your presence, and y'all was in the same building. You didn't say shit to Remy, but you waited until you left, and you big tough granimal. You waited until you left to get on the internet and shade Remy. Remy got paid. Whenever you got done with your shade, Remy got paid for walking that boxer out. Fat Joe got paid, Remy got paid. Baby, and it's just like, why are you poking the bear? She's literally, she know Remy got a temper. If I'm Remy, Remy just got arrested for getting into it with the girl on the steps of the court, remember? And I already gave you papoose. Clarissa, why are you mad at Remy? I still don't get why Clarissa's mad at Remy. You got papoose. You tell us every day, I got a chocolate good man. He the best. You know, I pay for his shit, but he a good man. Exactly. You tell us all the time about how papoose is yours and he's such a great guy. Remy ain't studying him. She just want to know if he paid his attorney fee so they can get their divorce finalized. And you still on here worried about Remy. But if y'all notice, she try to dress like Remy. She tries to talk like Remy. It's giving you're more obsessed with Remy than you are with the man. It reminds me of Coleslaw, Ariane, and Martell Holt. You already got Martell Holt. Why are you still obsessed with the ex-wife? And Remy is not even the ex-wife. Remy is still the current wife. She ain't said shit to you. Remy is off looking good, messing with old Brace Face or whoever she messing with. But you came on here to hate on her, talking about somebody should never want to walk out to lean back. And Papoose, why haven't you stopped this little girl from talking about Remy? You already know what Remy capable of. Any real man, this is why I don't like Papoose, and I think Papoose is a clout chaser. I think he's using Clarissa for money, and he's over 10 years older than her. I think I don't like it. But like I said, any real man would tell her, hey, slow down, stop talking about Remy, don't address her, delete that. He would have told her to delete that. I don't want no drama, I don't want no bullshit. So it's giving you like that type of shit because you want to get Remy attention. Both of y'all want to get Remy attention. It's given when y'all go home, y'all talk about Remy in the bed. And that's y'all foreplay. I don't know. For the people who saying, why don't people like Clarissa? It's not that people don't like Clarissa or think Clarissa is not talented, because Clarissa is definitely talented in her own right. I think the biggest thing is Clarissa get on this internet and be saying anything. Like, girl, why are you doing all of that? You don't need to do all of that. It's not that serious, Pooh. I promise you it's not that serious. I don't know, child. Tell me what y'all think about her shading Remy. In other side bitch news, so remember Miss Nikki? She's dating the guy Gelo Ball, one of the Ball brothers. He was a basketball player. Then he had the little tweaker song. I might swerve on the corner store, get a vest soda, then I hit it some more. You know, y'all remember that song. So, and he got like this huge deal. He left his baby mama, Miss Nikki Baby, from Love and Hip Hop LA. He left Miss Nikki Baby for this side chick named Rashida Nicole. In case the name Rashida Nicole rings a bell, Rashida Nicole used to mess with Tim Anderson. She was a side bitch to Tim Anderson too. And she got Tim Anderson name tattooed, his name tattooed, while he had a whole woman in the house. I think he was married. So she's a career side chick. We've known her for being a side chick, a bold one at that, because how you getting a married man name tattooed on you? That's not where it ends. So y'all remember maybe a few months ago, Gelo left Miss Nikki Baby, left her and the kids. She just popped out 2 babies. Miss Nikki Baby did an interview with Jason Lee, and she told Jason Lee, he asked her, he was like, how did you find out he was leaving you for this girl? She said she found out it was on Gossip of the City T. That's why she made a post, because everybody was tagging her. She said he went out of town to do like a podcast with his brothers or some shit like that. He hadn't called or, text her back in 3 days, and that was unlike him. She said he told her, hey, I got something to tell you, it's bad. So she was like, no, tell me now. Don't wait until you get home. What's the tea? And he told her, I got somebody pregnant. We just need to co-parent. She was like, what the fuck? A few days later, he came home. She said her and her mama was beefing. He didn't really say shit to her. He was being a coward. Him and his friends was moving the shit out. And then a few days later, the girl Rashida moved in. I was like, ain't this some coward shit? I don't know how he made it out the house. Because if you just left me, and she said when all of this happened, her baby was 4 weeks old. You left your new baby mama with your 4-week-old child to go be with some other career jump off? That's what I don't understand. When dudes be talking about she a hoe, she ran through, y'all love hoes. Let's be clear. Y'all love hoes. Y'all love hoes. Y'all love girls who ran through, because this girl was all over the blogs, messing with a married man, got his name tattooed, then fucked around. The girl Rashida got Gelo name tattooed over the other married man name. This girl Rashida got a lot of balls, baby. So the girl Rashida moves in a few days after he leaves Miss Nikki baby house. I will say Miss Nikki baby was being really, really nice on the interview. And there was like a little clip where she said, oh, she knew he had a family. Miss Nikki baby put it all on Gelo. She was like, no, it was his responsibility. I mean, she knew too, but still, she was giving her a lot of grace and was blaming it all on the man, as she should. I'm not like that. I don't blame. Tell me what y'all think. When situations like these come about, do y'all think that it's 50-50 blame, or should a girl just blame her man? I'm like this. I'm going to blame my man, but I'm going to beat your ass up front. I'm going to whoop your ass up front because you knew too. And I just don't like women who don't have any courtesy for other women. The type of woman that knows he has 2 little kids and this girl just popped out a baby 4 weeks ago, and you thought it was cute to come online and do this and mess with him, bust her head to the white meat. Bust her head to the white meat and let the juices fall through. As far as I'm concerned. Then whoop his ass in the car and whoop his ass on the way home. If you need help, call Jocelyn. She'll give you some pointers, bitch. Exactly. So anyway, so in the interview, I feel like Miss Nikki was been giving her a lot of grace. She could have called her every dirty dog whore there was, but she didn't do that. Nikki also said that she told Gelo, hey, I want to meet her since she'll be around the kids and stuff. And Gelo told her that Rashida don't like her, and no, they can't meet. So then fast forward to yesterday, Rashida, now we come to find out in the last week that this girl Rashida, the jump off got pregnant. They got married. They didn't tell us. The jump off got pregnant. They got married. This nigga filed for divorce. Oh my God. And this girl, and he didn't file for divorce. Bitch, when I tell you your karma come around so quick, girl, your karma is faster than Betty Crocker in this bitch. Exactly. Your karma is like an Instapot. The fact that this girl, because remember when it all happened, the girl Rashida came on her, she said Miss Nikki wasn't a good mama. She was like, they racist. They always saying nigga. In the interview, Jason Lee was like, as a person that's been your friend for years, that was crazy. Like Miss Nikki never said or did anything, you know, remotely racist. She has never been problematic as far as we know, baby. So then Miss Rashida gets on the internet and gonna say, this lady has harassed me the entire time behind the scenes, trying to have people call me to abort my baby, wishing death threats on my unborn child, and so much more. Oh, poo-poo. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I am sorry. And I don't wish any harm on anybody's baby, their unborn child, or none of that. But you didn't give a fuck about her kids. You didn't give a fuck about her kids, her 4-week-old or her 2-year-old. You didn't give a damn about none of that when you was fucking with that man and on the internet dragging her saying she was a bad mama and she was a racist. You think we give a fuck if Miss Nikki baby harassing you? Some folks in the comments was like, I hope she harass her some more. Like, right, harass? Bitch, you ain't seen harassment. Exactly. I would have auto read-dialed your phone for I would have set that auto read-dial to 2,000 calls, and you wouldn't have got another call or a text in the next few days. And when 2,000 was done, I'll amp it up a notch and do 5,000. Bitch, you would have to get a whole new number fucking with me and change your life around. You worried about Miss Nikki baby harassing you. She should have did worse. Like I said, she should have skull drugged you. Girl, please. I guess. Tell me what y'all think about Rashida. These side chicks are out of control. Rashida is trying to call Miss Nikki baby out like, you didn't start all of this. Fuck up her home. Gelo fucked up his home too. Which, speaking of Gelo, do y'all know this motherfucker come from a 2-parent home? His daddy raised them to be successful and all of that other shit. And not only did you ruin Miss Nikki baby life, and Miss Nikki said, she was like, he said he, you know, having a family was too much for him. So I thought he was going to go out, be free, have threesomes, da-da-da. You literally went and started a whole nother family. And that just goes to show you, y'all better stop having babies by these dudes. I'll tell a dude in a heartbeat, baby, I will take up, I'll spend that $500 before you ever trap me. Are you going to end up like these girls? And he was on Kai Cenat stream, just not a care in the world. You just fucked up 2 ladies' lives in a matter of a year and left them to be single mothers with babies. And she said he really don't take care of the kids like that. I never understood why girls would get with a man after he didn't take care of that set of kids, and you think you different, and he gon' no. Nobody is bigger than the program. Your coochie ain't that good. It's not gonna happen. Let's be wise, ladies. Let's do better in life. I don't know, child. So tell me what y'all think about the side chicks. Clarissa lost her damn mind. You still a side chick because Papoose is legally married, and you still taunting Remy. Why are you messing with Remy? I hope Remy dot her I. Anyway, so with that being said, all side chicks aside, let's get back into, sorry y'all, let me get my eyelashes together. Okay, this is about as good as it's gonna get. Let's get back into this Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff, because it's getting good. It's getting good. Okay, so first I'm gonna do like just a brief synopsis. We talked about a lot of this last night on my live. So go check out, just go to my, channel, go to the live section right after the show last night. We did a live. I had fun with y'all. Shout out to my girlies. Make sure y'all subscribe and like the video. I'm really close to 16,000. Okay. So we're going to talk about the episode. Then I'm going to tell y'all what Marcus had to say. That's the juiciest part. So don't leave too early, because the juiciest part is towards the end when I tell y'all about Marcus and them and the reason why Drew and Angela didn't like Phaedra and wanted to set Phaedra up, and what Kelly had to do with it, and why we didn't get the additional 3 episodes. And a producer liked it. A producer liked the retweet. So we were supposed to get an additional 3 episodes. Angela, you a sneaky dog, girl, I guess. Anyway, so let's do a quick recap of the reunion. Shamia posted something on her Instagram, like where she was pre-gaming for the reunion. First of all, she looked corny skipping to the damn door. Her first little reunion. But then she was praying and stuff, and she was like, yeah, and I said a prayer, and I prayed with my mama and my cousin and my dog, and she's singing it. Oh, you did all of that spiritual stuff and was acting like a Christian just to come on here and act like a demon seed. That just goes to show you, them girls who be, and I prayed. Girl, how you pray, but as soon as Portia walked out, all you had is envy in your heart. That is crazy. All of that prayer went clean out the window as soon as you seen Portia in that gold bodice. I guess so, child. But anyway, Shamia's dress looked really cute in public. At the beginning, they introduced us to Cynthia. Like I said, I love, love, love Cynthia this season. This is by far my favorite season of Cynthia. Cynthia was great. What wasn't great, I hate to say this, and y'all know I always talk about Cynthia, the cheekbones, her face card. Cynthia can do no wrong in the beauty department as far as I'm concerned. But Cynthia needs to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon. And the deadly weapon was that damn wig. Cynthia Bailey, girl, we didn't came too far. We didn't came too far with you, Cynthia Bailey. You are the Cynthia Cheekbone Bailey. Why did you have that damn wig on? Portia not your real friend. Because Portia, you should have had your glam hook Cynthia up with a quick wig real quick. Cynthia, girl, you better sell a piece of that lake house or tell Leon, call your baby father and tell him you needed a new wig. Cynthia pissed me off with that damn wig, child. Anyway, Portia talks about the divorce and filming in the house and all of the other things. Then we get into her and Kelly's back and forth because Andy basically asks her, why the fuck did you keep asking that girl? Andy was messy. Andy was like, why the fuck did you keep asking that girl about stealing that man's husband? And she was like, I asked out of concern. This little Muppet baby be lying. Just the fact that she told us, started out with a lie and said, I was asking out of concern. Ho, you was not concerned. You wanted a moment. And we know now, in retro, now that we know everything, we know you, Britt, and Shamia had an alliance. So you came out the gate coming for Portia because that was the plan all along. And then Shamia tried to double back and say, don't go so hard on Portia. Kelly is such a little liar. Anyway, so then Portia tries to smooth it over. Like, no, we had this conversation about both of our husbands being trifling dogs. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And Kelly was like, no, this not the same thing. We had 11 years. Y'all was married 11 months. So Kelly got Portia on that. This been 11 years. That been 11 months. But this is when Portia shuts Kelly little garden gnome looking ass down. So when they start talking about the Drew stuff, Portia brings up how basically I couldn't film with Simon. I couldn't talk about that. I was protective over Dennis because Dennis was my storyline. He's my co-parent. He's the other man in my life. Who's to say that if I can't use my husband, I can't use my baby daddy? I could use any extension of a man in my life. And so Andy asked her, he was like, yeah, you and Dennis, y'all seem real cool on the YouTube. The people love him. And she was like, yeah, I love Dennis. You know, we have such a great relationship. That's why I acted like that towards Drew. And then she was like, me and Dennis give a good kiki. And Kelly was like, yeah, kiki and all in that man's house. And Portia was like, well, it's my house. And then, she was like, did you have yours or you had to sell yours? You should have had a prenup. Kelly didn't have shit to say. I'm sorry, Kelly. You got her with the 11 years, 11 months thing. But when Portia came back, when you was like all in that man's house, you had a lot of smoke for Portia this reunion, which was crazy because towards the end of the season and the finale, Kelly didn't have none of this smoke for Portia. Where did this reunion smoke come from? Because in Grenada, they was cool. During the Angela fiasco, they was cool. Why did Kelly have all this smoke for Portia at the reunion? So you came with the smoke, but Portia finished your ass when she said, it's my house. Didn't you have to sell your house, bitch? You should have had a prenup. That's the only thing you got left with was $100,000 debt. I don't know. Kelly did have some cute little comebacks, but now we know that Kelly was coming for Portia because that was the plan all along. Kelly is a little sneaky one, child. Kelly is a sneaky one. Anyway, so then we get the Drew versus Portia thing. We get the Drew versus Portia thing, and they talking about the whole Dennis thing. We find out because Shamia chimes in, and Drew get an attitude with Shamia. It was like, go sit on her lap. You can tell that Drew cannot stand Shamia. At the heart of it all, Drew can't stand Shamia. And we find out that Portia told, Angela said this. She said, the only reason I got on your ass about asking that is because Portia told you to stop talking about Dennis and Drew alleged, you know, the rumors between Dennis and Drew. And then Portia chimed in, but Shamia kept saying that they lying on her. Shamia, this is the second time that Angela brought that up. Portia didn't even bring that up. If you go back and watch it, Angela said the only reason I got on your ass and called you a lapdog is because Portia had already told you to stop talking about the whole Dennis and Drew thing, and you kept bringing it up. And she brought it up in Nashville. And Portia said, no, I told you I don't, you know, I don't want that to be the focus. I want the focus to be the filming, not her allegedly messing with Dennis. But Shamia kept pushing the narrative. That's why Miss Diane was talking about the dog that brings the bone, because Shamia was being messy this season and wanted to get Portia like deep into the drama. And it's because you had an alliance with these girls to bring down your quote unquote best friend, now that you finally got on the show, to show that you're not a plus one. You are the one. Ain't that her tagline? I can never be a plus one. I am the one. Girl, the one that's about to get demoted, bitch. I don't know, but that's what this is. Anyway, so when they Drew and Portia eventually make up, you know, Portia goes over there and apologizes. Do y'all think Portia's apology was sincere? I think her apology was sincere, just for the fact that she said, hey, she was sitting on 10, she was ready to fight, and she was pissed off. You literally trying to steal my storyline. And then this is good TV. Portia was probably thinking, no. Film with Ralph, which she apologized for filming with Ralph. And then Drew, I like the fact that Drew got teary-eyed. And Drew admitted, she said, first season, she said, my wigs weren't melted right. They was looking a mess, and you looked out for me. I like this. I like this. I like this because Portia admitted she was wrong. Drew admitted that she had some fucked up wigs, and Portia helped her. So if I'm Portia, I still would have felt, I wouldn't have apologized, because I still would have felt the same way. Bitch, season 1, when everybody was talking to you, I took you underneath my arm, gave you some go naked hair, and helped elevate you. And then the second you get your music and shit popping, you decide to do me dirty. I don't know. Anyway, so then we talk about Britt and Kelly. Kelly goes all around this whole Britt thing. Bottom line, you was jealous of her. Bottom line, you let your friend use your style team, and you was gatekeeping because they started to make Britt look better than you. And she was like, she wanted to use my whole team. Why are you, first of all, if you give a damn about your team, that's just like your hairstylist. If your hairstylist is your friend, you should want your hairstylist to make extra money. You're literally, by gatekeeping your hairstylist and your makeup artist and stuff, you are taking money out of their pocket. They could literally be making more money working with these other people, but you're trying to gatekeep. You're trying to take money out of their mouth. Money and opportunity at that. Girl, fuck Kelly. Kelly is a jealous bitch. That told me everything I need to know. As far as the abortion stuff, they talked about that. I think Kelly lame. Because she was like, my body, my choice. I heard it all before. Exactly. We ain't talking about my body, my choice. First of all, my body, my choice. I got my tubes tied. Nobody cares. Nobody. This tubes tied? No. Do you know how many untied tubes there are? Do you know how many girls get pregnant with their tubes tied? I can count 2 in my family alone. Exactly. They had their tubes tied and they end up getting pregnant somehow. Anyway, so I think that's true. I think the way the back and forth happened between Britt and Kelly, it was too quick for Britt just to come off the dome with her having abortions. Because if you was just gonna lie about pill popping, if you was just coming off the dome with a lie, the off the dome lie would be cheating on your husband, oh, you do drugs, oh, you was sucking Zick in the alley. But something so specific as to getting abortions, I think Kelly is liable for that. Anyway, then we get into the whole alliance conversation. And of course, we find out that they had an alliance. Shamia's saving grace was, or what she tried to use as a saving grace was, Portia, yeah, there was an alliance, but Portia was a part of the alliance first. How could Portia be a part of the alliance when the first thing Kelly did was come for Portia? The first little scene they were all together, she came for Portia. Remember, she sat down on that couch with Kenya. Then Portia came over there to sit down with her, and they got into it. So that makes no sense. How could they be a part of the same alliance and she's coming from one of the girls in the alliance? And then Portia said, I would never do that because alliances have ruined the season. And why would Portia? Portia is coming back as the star of the show. Let's be clear. Portia was coming back as the star of the show. Portia had a new friendship with Kenya. Her and Kenya could have been click-clack like that before Kenya left. Then she got frick back or frack, whatever it is. There was no reason for Portia to be in an alliance. No reason whatsoever. The newbies needed to be in an alliance because y'all needed to try to make some noise so that y'all can come back next season. I wish this would go like this, like Aaliyah. Anyway, so that was a total lie. And if you notice, when they were talking about it, Shamia was like, no, Portia, you lying. And look over at Kelly because she wants Kelly to validate the fact that Portia was in the alliance. And Kelly looks away. So Shamia, you lying, girl. You lying and you wanted Kelly to confirm that Portia was a part of the alliance. But y'all notice Kelly never said anything. And if Portia was really a part of the alliance, the way Kelly was going back and forth with Portia this whole reunion, Kelly would have loved to chime in and say, yes, you was, you lying bitch, because she was already at Portia's neck. The whole reunion, Kelly was already at Portia's neck. So why wouldn't Kelly chime in right now and say, Portia, you a lying ass bitch, you was a part of the alliance. That's because Shamia is lying. Portia was never a part of the alliance. And the fact that you would come on here, your first season on, and paint Portia out to be a bad friend and all of this, whole time you in an alliance with a whole group of girls that's hating on me. Who really the bad friend? Get into that. Let's just simmer in that for a second. Shamia went on all of these things, all of these interviews and shit, had that whole sit down. She cried at Portia little pamper party, telling everybody who would listen that Portia is a bad friend. Meanwhile, your first time as a real housewife on the show, you're in an alliance with Brittany and Kelly. Kelly being the main one that's coming for me about marrying Simon. And Shamia didn't tell Portia because Portia found out from Britt. Remember, Portia said Britt told us, and when they kicked her out of the alliance, that's when Britt came up, when they was at the house, Britt, Cynthia, and Portia, she said that's when she ended up telling us everything. So how that feel? My best friend in an alliance with some hoe, first of all, the main little bitch that's coming for me, my quote unquote best friend is in an alliance with her. Shamia is a dirty bitch. She is a dirty bitch. I'm sorry. Anyway, we talk about all of that. Then we get into the Angela and Marcus situation. Angela, hang it up flat screen. Please, please, Angela. Angela, you and that tacky wacky wig, I don't know if we're going to see you again, Angela. I think they're going to bring her back because Angela is a strong person and she got strong reads. But the way Angela popped out with them fake ass receipts, them facettes, them wasn't no receipts, them was some fake ass, them was some facettes. With them facettes, girl talking about Phaedra did it because Phaedra went to school with him. No, his sister named Kim from Athens. And ain't this your brother? Phaedra like, well, yes, that is my brother. Oh, well, she know your brother. Girl, what type of connect the dots family ancestry? Girl, we don't give a fuck about that. It's given been verified. You just went on been verified, looked at possible relatives and possible associates, connected it with Phaedra, and then just assumed that Phaedra did it. And then told Andy Cohen, oh yeah, first he blamed Britt, and then he blamed Kelly. And Andy was like, so why the fuck you think it's Phaedra? Even Andy was like, what the fuck? Andy don't even believe that shit. And then she was like, and Phaedra was like, why would I do that? I ain't got nothing against you. She was like, to try to secure your seat. Phaedra said, let's be clear. My contract has been contracted. It's been executed and signed by the executor and executory estate. Phaedra told us this during the interview. I forgot what it was. But because Phaedra came on and she only had 2 weeks of the season left, she already signed the contract for the new season. So her contract overlaps with the new season. So when Phaedra came on, she had no reason to prove herself, to come in with a lot of drama or any of that, because she was already secure for the next season. When she signed her contract, it was for this season and part of the next season. Phaedra was cool. Remember, Andy Cohen told us early on, Phaedra's here to stay. So Phaedra had no reason to try to set Angela up. Out of all people, why would she come for Angela? You a newbie. You not threatening her. I think, like I told y'all, Angela knew that Phaedra was saying, hey, I never heard of him having a wife, so and so and so and so and half of the stuff that Phaedra said about Angela, her face being old, how y'all thought, how us watching it was like, why would Phaedra be so mean to her like that for no reason? If you go back and watch, Phaedra said that stuff during the confessionals, which is after the fact. So for all we know, Phaedra came in there nice to Angela, but after she figured out these hoes trying to set me up, she came back with all of the, oh, that bitch look old in the face. She came back with all of that shady commentary about Angela. That's how that all properly played out. Anyway, Angela sat there looking stupid. Stupid as hell. I have no idea. I have no idea why Angela would do that, because Angela was the fan favorite. She was literally the fan favorite out of the newbies, the oldies, everybody. Everybody was going up for Angela, and Angela got the biggest F on her test. Angela, hold this F, baby. Not this L, hold this F. Angela gets an F on her test for Reunion Part 1. Because we was waiting on you. Remember, we was like, oh, she gonna read Phaedra. She gonna read Phaedra. It wasn't even a read session. The receipts were weak. And I feel like Angela was lying, because while Angela was talking about this, her whole demeanor didn't seem like the Angela that we got when she was reading Brit Edie and stuff. That was like, girl, well, why you got that in your mouth? Why you know, when Angela is reading it in her zone, she's just very smiley, very charismatic, and it just rolls off her tongue. That's her natural. But when she's talking about this market shit, it seems very forced and unnatural. That's why I think Angela's lying. It's all in her demeanor. It's all in her body movements. She don't have that confidence that she has when she reading a bitch down and she knows she right. It's a total different demeanor. Anyway, Angela, you get an F on your test. But since we talking about Angela, let's get into this last bit of tea and then I'm gonna go. Okay. Before we go, on the next episode, we find out that we getting statements from Kenya and Drew. Then, of course, we're going to find out Shamia is a lying ass bitch, because her and Portia going to get into it. And she going to be like, you lying too, girl. Like I said, Taurus, this is the worst week ever. This is the worst week. This is the worst week ever for y'all, friend. Maybe next month. I don't know. I'm going to pray for y'all, okay? Anyway. So Marcus, the infamous Marcus, who told us that Charles was in a restaurant cheating with the girlie. So Alex, his friend, so the Double Mid Twins did a podcast episode on Saturday. What's today? Monday? I think it was Saturday. This is what they said. So he said that he wasn't mic'd up. They were invited to the event by Kelly's publicist. Remember this. They were invited to the event by Kelly's publicist because they were in the same industry. They knew each other from around. People know Marcus in the restaurant industry, according to Marcus. So Kelly's publicist invited him to the event. Then they said, of course, Drew called the restaurant. That's how they ended up meeting. But he said at the event, at Kelly's event, he said that after he said that to Angela, came over there and said, I need to tell you something about your husband. He went over there with the crew, and he said, when his friend asked him, like, who told you to tell all of this in the beginning? He said, a man named Don Julio. He said, so how this shit started off was just him being a messy, tacky bitch. He was drinking. He don't drink that much. When he seen Angela, he don't like Charles Oakley because he knew Charles was cheating on his wife. So he was like, I'm finna go tell her, being drunk, a drunk, messy bitch, I'm finna go tell her that Charles was in a restaurant with another bitch. That's how this all started out. And he thought it was just gonna be that, like a messy, drunk moment. But what he did say is that when he walked over there, and Angela and Kelly walked over there, he said what we didn't see is when Kelly walked over there, he told Kelly, I got some messy shit to say. And Kelly said, ooh, I love mess. Stay right here. I'm finna come back over here with the cameras. This is after he went over there and said something to Angela. Did Kelly already know what Marcus was going to say about the whole Angela thing? And is that why she told him, hold on, let me come back over here with the cameras? Because the only reason the cameras caught them over there doing a toast is because Kelly decided to go over there and have a toast with them, and the cameras followed Kelly over there to have a toast. This is what made me wonder, why would Kelly go over to these people to have a toast? Why wouldn't Kelly stay at the table with Angela, Phaedra, Drew, and Charles Oakley and have a toast with them? The people that's on the show. That, to me, that's the natural thing. The natural thing, because remember, Charles was over here with them. They was at the table. They was all sitting down. Why would Kelly not have a toast with Angela, Drew, Phaedra, and Charles, the cast? Hey, let's have a toast, Charles. Thanks for coming to cook. Ladies, thank you for being here. Why would Kelly scoop her little happy ass over there to the boys and have a moment with them, unless she knew that he was coming to be messy, because your publicist is the one that invited him. Kelly a messy little bitch. Kelly is a messy little bitch, girl. And then they started talking about this, like, but what reason would Kelly have to play a hand in all of the mess? Well, we know they had an alliance. And you know, in the alliance, they didn't invite Angela to be in the alliance. And I told y'all, I think they felt some type of way because Britt was getting the clout as far as like the newbies are concerned. And then Angela took center stage as the fan favorite too. So Kelly, did you feel did your little alliance that y'all didn't invite, y'all little alliance that y'all didn't invite Angela to, did you feel some type of way? And was you in with the bullshit too, Kelly? That's what I want to know. Because what about that baby? That was you, right, Kelly? That was you, right? It's giving, y'all didn't, because we know Shamia and Angela was getting into it. And then we know Kelly felt some type of way. What about that baby? So was the secret alliance, was y'all out to get Portia? Was y'all out to get Angela too? These are some sneaky little devious little bitches. I'm trying to tell you, it get deeper than the deep blue sea. I was gonna say deeper than Destiny Coochie, but I don't know that girl. Anyway, the moral of the story is, so Kelly specifically came over there with the cameras to capture the whole your husband's cheating on you. So Kelly, you sneaky, and I still got my good eye on you. Then he goes on to say that when they met at the coffee shop, they threatened him. They said initially, Alex and Marcus said that they told him specifically, once they got to the coffee shop with Angela and Drew Sidora, they said that we know your background. We ran your background. We know all about you. We know all about you, little bitch. And if you don't play ball, we gonna expose you. Then Marcus said Drew made it be known that she don't like Phaedra. Her or Angela don't like Phaedra. This is what he said. He said, she said verbatim, we work too hard for our checks to give some of it up to her. Drew, you don't like, and remember when Drew did her first interview, I think with Carlos King, when Drew did her interview with Carlos King, Carlos said, how do you feel about Phaedra being on the show? She was like, well, she came with the It was shady, though. I remember because I reported on it. So, Drew, you felt some type of way about Phaedra coming on the show? I guess she said getting some of our money. I guess part of the budget, because, you know, they only have a certain amount of money in the budget. So, I guess they felt like, hey, because they paying Phaedra, and I'm sure they got to pay Phaedra a pretty little coin. If Phaedra wasn't on her, then maybe we'll get more money. So, apparently, Drew and Angela was salty that Phaedra was on the show and getting part of their money, getting part of that budget, that Bravo budget. I said, what? So that's the reason y'all would have to set Phaedra up. And then they mentioned, yeah, Drew felt some type of way about Phaedra because remember, Phaedra had just locked her out of that fashion show. Remember she was standing out there eating chicken wings from the security guard dude? And you know if they don't film a scene or if they not in the episode, then they don't get paid. So did Drew feel like, oh, this bitch trying to cut me out of an episode and cut me out of my money by not allowing me to come to her fashion show? You notice Drew waited outside. She waited outside so that she could be in the fashion show and be filmed. I said, what? Anyway, so he went on to say that, of course, Drew and Angela set that whole thing up. He said the call that we heard, that was only call number 2. They had a first call, a third call, you know, like another call. They had some made up receipts. They watered down the finale because a lot more happened during the finale. Of course, we found out that Angela was threatening threatening Marcus' life, called Marcus a FAG, used a bunch of slurs. So, allegedly, after that, they wanted to continue the conversation because Alex was talking about how they were setting Phaedra up and all of that other stuff, but that got cut out. But they wanted to go ahead and explore the whole Marcus, because we were saying that, like, why would they have this big bomb at the finale and then we don't know more about the story? Because allegedly, production was trying to get the surveillance video of Charles Oakley being in the restaurant with the other girls. With the other girl. So production and Bravo wanted to explore it more, and they greenlit 3 more episodes according to Marcus now. However, the reason why we didn't get them 3 more episodes is because allegedly Charles Oakley and Angela Oakley issued a cease and assist. And that's why we didn't get 3 more episodes exploring the whole Charles Oakley cheating Marcus and got the surveillance video from the restaurant. I said, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? I don't know, child. Tell me what y'all think. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think. Do y'all believe Marcus? I kind of feel like a lot of people who reviewed the show, even the older YouTubers that I watch, they said the same thing. The finale seemed kind of rushed and disjointed. It felt like we was getting a piece of the story, but we didn't get the rest of the story. And if there was surveillance footage from the restaurant, which Marcus and them told us, yes, they did because they pinpointed the date and they seen it, why didn't we get that? Angela, did you and Charles, did the shit get too deep? Did it get too hot in the kitchen and you filed for a cease and assist? And then Alex asked Marcus, are you under an NDA? And he said, basically in so many words, he said yes. He's under a non-disclosure agreement or some sort of contract. And I'm like, so did Angela make him sign an NDA? Because remember, Angela was the one who was threatening to sue him. And I was thinking, remember right after the finale aired, Angela said, see you in court to Marcus. And I'm thinking, what would you sue Marcus about? And y'all on the same show. What would you have to sue Marcus about? What, defamation? Unless you had Marcus sign some sort of agreement or an NDA and he broke the NDA by talking shit online. I don't don't know, child. I'm just telling y'all what happened. Anyway, so tell me what y'all thought about the first episode of the reunion. I wonder what we're going to get in episode 2, because we went through a lot of shit during this episode. We talked about Jab Jab, Cynthia, Portia and Simon, Drew and Dennis, Angela Oakley. We talked about almost everything. Like, what we gonna talk about? The Kenya shit? When we get the Kenya letter? Drew allegedly giving the pictures? How do Mean Lee fit into this? Because I think she got something to do with it. Look, yes, I think Michael Jackson got something to do with it. Anyway, friend, so tell me what y'all think about the side chicks, Clarissa and Rashida, going against the main chicks and the wives and all of these things. What did y'all think about the reunion? Are y'all excited about reunion part 2? Do y'all believe Marcus, did Angela and them file for a cease and desist so we can't find out the true story and about the Charles shit? Girl, I don't know. There's a lot going on. Anyway, make sure you comment so we can snickle and giggle for the rest of the day. Like and subscribe. I will talk to y'all later on today. I may go live with Good Deed or just give y'all, you know, some extra tea this evening. So make sure your notifications on. Make sure you subscribe. Share me to the group chat. All of the things. And I'll talk to you later, friend. Bye. Love you.